All right, we already just recently discovered we are getting the Great Mothers coming soon, via the developer's insights. If you haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. But if you don't want to go do that and you're here specifically for the kit reveal, well, I understand, I get it. So let's just get into it. All right, basic move is energy threads. They'll throw up their balls and then shoot the enemy. So all this thing says it's a Zeta. So it's a basic ability with a Zeta. Final text. Deal special damage to target enemy. Wow, that came out weird. Target enemy. If the target enemy was doomed, inflict tenacity down for 2 turns and they lose 20% turn meter, stacking until the end of the encounter, which can't be evaded or resisted. Otherwise, inflict ability block and speed down for 2 turns. Blessed allies gain foresight for 2 turns, and non-tank blessed allies gain stealth for 1 turn. Special 1, Magic Storm, Zeta, and a cooldown of 3. So it's okay. It's a little force power storm that they just summon around their chosen opponent. Final text. If the enemy leader is late side, dispel all debuffs on all Night Sister allies. Dispel all buffs from all enemies, and doomed enemies are inflicted with vulnerable for 2 turns. Deal special damage 3 times to all enemies. Well, that attacks everybody. It doesn't really look like that in the video, in the GIF, whatever you want to say, animation. But okay. If this attack defeats an enemy, all Night Sister allies gain defense penetration up for 2 turns. It's kind of a weird move based on what it does, based on the description. Oh, if the enemy leader is light side, then this happens, and blah blah blah. What? So weird. I mean, it is an actual attack. I was waiting to see what the attack was. I forgot. It is like an actual attack. There's a tornado. Like, why is it? This is, I don't know. It's a weird move. Unique 1. To the old ways. Omicron. Final text. Night Sister allies gain 30% accuracy, max health, and tenacity, but can't be revived. This effect persists through defeat. At the start of each encounter, and whenever an attacker, Night Sister ally, or Great Mothers is critically hit, attacker Night Sister allies gain foresight and stealth for 1 turn. Limit once per turn. Now that limit once is per character, right? Like, it doesn't happen just one time. It happens to each character, but only once, right? I hope so. Otherwise, this is kind of crappy. Whenever an enemy is critically hit, Great Mothers and all blessed allies gain 1% offense stacking for 2 turns and recover 2% protection, doubled if the enemy had vulnerable. Whenever a vulnerable enemy starts its turn, all Night Sister allies gain foresight for 2 turns, and all non-tank Night Sister allies gain stealth for a turn. Whenever a doomed enemy gains turn meter, blessed allies gain 25% turn meter. Limit once per doomed enemy's turn. Now for the Omicron. While in territory wars, whenever a vulnerable enemy is critically hit, Great Mothers and blessed allies gain 5% turn meter. The first time any other Night Sister ally is reduced to 1% health. Wow, all this stuff happens. Okay. They dispel all debuffs on themselves. They gain blessed for 2 turns if they didn't have it already, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented, and damage immunity for 1 turn, which can't be copied. They recover 100% health and protection, and have their cooldowns reset. Jeez. Alright. They are defeated when blessed is removed. If they were already blessed, they have plus 200% health steal and gain 20% defense and offense. This effect can happen only once per battle. Oh, okay. So it's not something that the whole team gets. It's literally just once per battle, it says. I thought it'd be once per character, but I mean, it still does a lot, which is pretty cool. But it's like, you almost want to be able to control who it goes on, which would be hard to do because it's, it's you can't really control who's gonna end up falling to 1% health first. You know what I mean? But if you could control it somehow, then this would be ideal. Because then you could make, I don't know, somebody cool that would benefit from defense and offense boosts, go down to 1%, and then boop, now they're back to full health, they got all these bonuses, and then they tear up the other team. I don't know. Anyways, Leader, Threads of Destiny. It has an Omicron. What is this? A triple Omicron? Just like a Conquest character? Final text. Night Sister allies gain 30% defense, max health, and speed. If all Night Sisters are... all allies are Night Sister, which they should be. Why wouldn't they be? That would be weird. At the start of battle, at the start of each encounter, and at the end of each turn. If so... if there are no enemies inflicted with Doomed, Great Mothers dispel ability block from themselves. They gain the granted ability Fate Weaving, and they take a bonus turn. During this bonus turn, Great Mothers can only use Fate Weaving. Great Mothers can't use Fate Weaving 2 times in a row. If the enemy leader is light side, dispel stealth and ignore taunt effects while using Fate Weaving. Jeez, Fate Weaving sounds goofy. Yeah, it's almost like a tongue twister and it's non-stop. I gotta read it. Holy crap, this is still the leader ability? Oh my word. If all allies are Night Sister at the start of the battle, at the end of each turn, if there are no other allies with Blessed, Great Mothers removes ability block from themselves, gains the granted ability Gift the Shadows, and takes a bonus turn. During this bonus turn, Great Mothers can only use Gift the Shadows. Doomed enemies can always be targeted by Blessed allies and Great Mothers. Fate Weaving, okay, it's going to tell you what it does at least. Target enemies inflicted with a stack of damage over time for 1 turn and doomed for the rest of the encounter, which can't be dispelled, copied, or resisted. Doomed! Protection is disabled and can't stealth. Oh, okay. Lose 20% max health whenever this character ends their turn until the end of the encounter. You can't revive. Raid bosses and Galactic Legends, minus 5% defense. That's it. It's practically nothing. Gift of Shadows. Target other Night Sister ally gains Blessed for the rest of the encounter or until defeated, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Blast! All these little subcategories they gotta keep putting to explain all these words that they're using in this kit reveal. Anyways, Blessed. Plus 20% max health and offense. Immune to instant defeat effects, stun, and turn meter reduction. Assist whenever another Night Sister ally uses a special ability on their turn, dealing 40% less damage. And that would stay, right? Because Blessed is like a buff. I hope it stays. While in Territory Wards. Okay, so this has an Omicron as well. Night Sister allies gain 30% defense, max health, and 20 speed. Great Mothers gain instant defeat immunity while a Blessed ally is active. Doomed enemies have minus 30% defense and offense. Whenever a doomed enemy is defeated, all enemies are inflicted with fear for 1 turn. There you go. That's kind of cool. Granted ability 1, Fate Weaving. Oh, this one gets a move. Whatever you call this, a GIF, an animation now. So what does it do? Okay, it's just like the ball move. Only this time one of them goes and uses the Schwartz. Final text. Target enemy is inflicted with a stack of damage over time for 1 turn and doomed for the rest of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Doomed. Protection is disabled and can't stealth. Okay, that sucks for them. Lose 20% max health whenever this character ends their turn until the end of the encounter. You can't revive. Raid bosses and Galactic Legends get minus 5% defense. Didn't I already read this? I feel like this is familiar sounding. I just said all this stuff. I don't know. Granted ability 2, Gift the Shadows. This also has an animation. It's almost like the tornado move, but instead of putting it on the enemy, they put it on themselves and enjoy it. Oh yeah, good tornado. Final text. Target other Night Sister ally gains Blessed for the rest of the encounter, or until defeated, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Blessed. Plus 20% max health and offense. Immune to instant defeat effects. Stun and other mass meter reduction. Assist whenever another Night Sister ally uses a special ability on their... Yeah, I already read all this. They're calling this out like it's a special ability. Oh, granted ability number 2. But it's like, okay, I already read this in number 1, basically. It's boring. Anyways, P.S. Great Mothers will not be required for GL Ahsoka. Well, ain't that something? Doesn't matter, though, because they're required for, what's his name? Baylan Skoll or whatever. So, still gotta work on them. Alright, so that's all. That is the kit reveal for the Great Mothers. Thanks for checking this out with me. And until next time, I said see ya.